Stop. Before you scroll past this, I need to tell you something that sounds impossible. There's a man who died 500 years ago. Never met you, never knew you'd exist. But right now, he's controlling more of your life than you are. His ideas are running through every conversation you have, every decision you make, every time someone takes advantage of you, every time you feel powerless. That's him. That's Machiavelli. And here's the twisted part. The people winning around you, that person who always gets what they want, that individual who walks into a room and everybody pays attention, they know his secrets. They're using his playbook, and you've been walking around without it. I'm about to show you something that will genuinely change your brain. Not in some motivational way. I mean, it will physically change how you process information. Because once you understand what I'm about to share, you can't go back to thinking like you did before. It's like learning a new language, except this language lets you read people's minds. There's an invisible game happening all around you. Every day, every interaction. And most people don't even know they're playing. They think life is random. They think good things happen to good people. They think hard work equals success. That's exactly why they lose. Machiavelli figured this out in the 1500s. He worked in Italian government, watching powerful families navigate complex situations, watching leaders rise and fall. And he started noticing patterns. He realized that the people who succeed aren't the smartest or the nicest or the most talented. They're the ones who understand human nature at its core. The real parts. The parts we pretend don't exist. He wrote it all down. The real rules of power. How people actually behave when you strip away the nice words and fake smiles. How to read situations before they unfold. How to position yourself so you always have the advantage. For 500 years, this knowledge has been passed down quietly among people who actually run things. But today, you're going to learn 6 specific mental frameworks you can start using immediately. Not theory, not philosophy. Actual tactical thinking that works in your daily life. These are the patterns that separate people who get used from people who get results. I'm warning you, this isn't comfortable information. You're going to see things about yourself you don't like. You're going to realize how many times you've been played. You're going to look back at conversations and think, oh no, that's what was really happening. But that discomfort, that's your brain upgrading. By the end of this video, you'll notice something strange. You'll look at people differently, listen to conversations differently. You'll catch things you never caught before, little signals. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. So here's what I need from you. Don't just passively watch this. Actually pay attention. Because the 6 frameworks I'm about to give you are the difference between spending your life reacting to what other people do and actually controlling your own path. This is the difference between being a player and being played. Drop this affirmation in the comments right now. I see the game clearly now. Framework 1. Master the art of strategic silence. Words are weakness. Silence is power. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you felt like you had to explain yourself? Had to justify your actions? Had to prove you were right? That need to explain is your biggest weakness. Every time you over-explain, you lose power. Every time you defend yourself when nobody asked, you look guilty. Every time you fill the silence with nervous words, you hand control to whoever's listening. Machiavelli understood something most people miss. Silence is a weapon. When you stay quiet, people start projecting their fears onto you. They start assuming you know more than you do. They start creating stories in their head about how smart you are. And you didn't say a single word. Think about the most powerful people you know. Do they run around explaining themselves? Do they justify every decision? No. They move in silence. They let their actions speak. And when they do talk, every word counts. Here's what happens when you master strategic silence. First, people reveal themselves. When you stop filling every gap in conversation, others rush to fill it. And when they do, They tell you everything, their insecurities, their intentions, their weaknesses. They hand you a map of how to deal with them. Second, you stop making stupid mistakes. Most people mess up because they talk too much. They promise things they can't deliver. They share plans before they're ready. They warn their competition before making moves. Silence protects you from your own mouth. Third, you become unpredictable. And unpredictability is power. When people can't figure out what you're thinking, they can't work against you. They can't plan around you. You become a mystery, and people respect what they don't fully understand. I'm not saying become a mute. I'm saying be deliberate with your words. When someone asks a question you don't need to answer, don't answer it. When someone tries to bait you into an argument, stay quiet. When someone wants to know your next move, smile and change the subject. Machiavelli once said, "The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves." One must therefore be a fox to recognize traps and a lion to frighten wolves. Sometimes the fox wins by saying nothing at all. Practice this today. In your next conversation, resist the urge to fill every silence. Let the other person talk. Watch what they reveal. You'll be shocked at how much power you gain just by keeping your mouth closed. Silence reveals everything. Words reveal you. Drop this in the comments. My silence is strength. Framework 2. Study people like a scientist studies patterns. Masters study others. Amateurs study themselves. You know what separates amateurs from masters. Amateurs focus on themselves. Masters focus on others. Most people walk through life completely blind to the humans around them. They don't pay attention. They don't study behavior. They take people at face value, and then they act surprised when someone disappoints them or uses them. Here's the truth. Every person you meet is running a program. They have patterns, triggers, weaknesses, desires, and if you learn to read these patterns, you can predict their moves before they make them. Machiavelli spent his whole life watching people. He noticed that humans aren't as random as they think. We're actually pretty predictable once you know what to look for. And the people who master this skill, they navigate life with incredible ease. Start with body language. Watch how people move when they're uncomfortable. Notice what they do with their hands when they're lying. Pay attention to who they look at when they laugh in a group. These tiny signals tell you everything their words don't. Next, listen to how people talk about others. When someone constantly gossips, they're showing you their character. When someone always plays the victim, they're telling you they'll never take responsibility. When someone brags nonstop, they're revealing their insecurity. People tell you exactly who they are if you listen. Learn what people value. Some value respect above all else. Others value money. Some want attention. Others want security. Once you know what someone values most, you know their currency. You know what motivates them. And you know how to work with them effectively. Watch how people respond to stress. That's when the mask comes off. The nice person who turns hostile under pressure, that's who they really are. The leader who stays calm when everything's chaotic, that's real strength. Crisis reveals truth. Pay attention to patterns over time. Someone who broke trust before will likely do it again. Someone who's dishonest with others is being dishonest with you too. Someone who's unreliable in small things will fail you in big things. Past behavior predicts future behavior. Machiavelli once said, "Men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand, for everyone can see and few can feel." Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few really know what you are. So watch what people do, not what they say. Start training this skill today. Pick someone in your life and study them for a week. Watch their patterns. Notice their contradictions. See if you can predict their reactions. You'll be amazed at how readable people become once you start paying attention. Read the pattern, predict the outcome. Drop this in the comments. I see through everyone. Framework 3. Never reveal your true intentions. Mystery is leverage. Transparency is vulnerability. This one's going to make some people uncomfortable, but it's one of the most critical lessons Machiavelli ever taught. The moment people know what you really want, you lose leverage. The moment they see your full hand, they can counter you. The moment they understand your game, they can play against you. Think about it. When you tell someone your dream, what do? If they're competitive, they try to beat you to it. If they're insecure, they try to talk you out of it. If they're strategic, they figure out how to use it for their own benefit. Very few people actually support you when they know your real goals. This is why smart people move different. They have decoy goals. They talk about surface-level ambitions while quietly working on what really matters. They let people think they understand them while operating on a completely different level. Let's say you're planning to make a major life change. The amateur tells everyone, gets advice from people who've never done it, deals with negativity and doubt, and half the time doesn't even follow through because everyone's watching and judging. The professional keeps their mouth shut, prepares in silence, builds in private, and when they finally make their move, it's already done. No debate, no permission needed, just results. This applies to all areas of life. Don't show all your cards in the first meeting. Don't reveal your full personality to new people immediately. Don't let others see your vulnerabilities until you know they won't exploit them. Mystery creates respect. Oversharing creates vulnerability. Now, some people will call this dishonest, but here's the reality. Everyone's playing this game whether they admit it or not. The person who claims to be totally transparent, they're just not aware of what they're hiding. The person who says they have nothing to hide, they're often the most guarded. The difference is, you're going to be conscious about it. You're going to control your image instead of letting others define it. You're going to reveal what serves you and protect what doesn't. Machiavelli once said, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are." Use this to your advantage. Next time someone asks about your plans, give them the general version. Share the parts that don't matter. Keep the core strategy to yourself. Watch how this changes the dynamic. Watch how you start moving faster when you're not carrying everyone's opinions. Guard your intentions like treasure. Drop this in the comments. My plans are sacred. Framework 5. Embrace calculated decisionness. Indecision is death. Decisionness is survival. This is where most people's hesitation destroys their success. And I'm going to say something that might challenge you. Being indecisive is not just a weakness. It's a losing strategy. Before you click away, hear me out. I'm not saying make reckless choices. I'm not saying ignore consequences. I'm saying that if you prioritize comfort over effectiveness, you're going to lose every single time. Machiavelli wrote The Prince to teach leaders how to gain and keep power. And one of his core teachings was this: sometimes you have to make hard decisions that comfortable people won't understand. Sometimes you have to cut people off, end situations, make moves that look intense. Because the alternative is weakness. And weakness invites problems. Think about the people you know who can't make decisions. They get walked on, used, taken advantage of. They can't say no. They can't set boundaries. They let toxic people drain them because confrontation feels uncomfortable. And where does it get them? Nowhere. They're stressed, surrounded by people who don't respect them. Now think about successful people, the ones with influence and respect. Are they always comfortable? No. They're decisive. They're protective of their time and energy. They remove obstacles without hesitation. They make decisions based on results, not feelings. And people call them cold. But guess what? They're winning. Here's the thing about calculated decisiveness. It's not about being harsh. It's about being strategic. Making decisions based on what serves your goals, not what makes you comfortable in the moment. Example 1. You have someone in your life who's always negative, always draining your energy, always creating drama. The indecisive person keeps them around because ending the connection feels uncomfortable. The decisive person removes them and doesn't lose sleep over it. One protects their peace. The other sacrifices it for someone who doesn't deserve it. Example 2. In business, you have someone who's not contributing. The indecisive person gives them chance after chance, hoping they'll improve. The decisive person makes a change and finds someone better. One path struggles, the other thrives. This applies to your own behavior too. Stop making excuses. Stop being soft on yourself. If you said you'd wake up early, wake up early. If you said you'd finish that project, finish it. Be decisive with your own lack of discipline. That's where real change happens. Machiavelli once said, "It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both." This doesn't mean be aggressive. It means respect matters more than approval. Boundaries matter more than being liked. Here's the balance. Be decisive in your actions, but don't be petty. Remove people who drain you, but don't seek revenge. Make tough calls, but don't be cool about it. Be strategic, not emotional. That's the difference between effective decisiveness and just being difficult. Decide fast, move faster. Drop this in the comments. I choose power decisively. Framework 6. Always have a backup plan. Options are power. Dependency is weakness. This might be the most important one. The thing that separates survivors from victims is this. Survivors always have options. You know who gets destroyed in life? People who put all their eggs in one basket. The person with one source of income. The person with one friend group. The person who builds their entire identity around one thing. When that thing falls apart, they fall apart. Machiavellian thinkers don't operate like that. They diversify everything. Multiple income streams, multiple social circles, multiple skills, multiple exit strategies. They're never dependent on any single thing or person, because they know that life is unpredictable and people are unreliable. Think about your income right now. Could you survive if your main source disappeared tomorrow? Do you have savings? Alternative income? Marketable skills? Connections in different areas? If the answer is no, you're vulnerable. You're at the mercy of circumstances. That's a weak position. Think about your social circle. Do you have connections outside your main group? Can you be content alone? Do you have options if your current situation changes? I'm not saying be disloyal. I'm saying don't be so dependent that losing something destroys you. That's not commitment. That's weakness disguised as commitment. Think about your plans. You want to start something new? Great. What's your plan if it doesn't work? You want to make a major change? Awesome. What's your backup if circumstances shift? You're going all in on one strategy? That's risky. Have contingencies. Let's say you're pursuing an opportunity. The person with no backup pursues it desperately and accepts whatever comes. The person with backup has multiple options, isn't desperate, and negotiates from power. Same person, different outcomes, all because of preparation. Or let's say you're in a conflict with someone. The person with no backup gets emotional and burns bridges. The person with backup stays calm because they know they have other options. They can walk away anytime. That detachment gives them leverage. This mindset also protects you from disappointment. When you're not dependent on anything, setbacks hurt less. Someone shows their true colors, fine, you've got other people. A venture doesn't work out, annoying, but you've got other plans. Nothing can truly destroy you because you've built redundancy into your life. Machiavelli once said, "The wise man does at once what the fool does finally." Don't wait until you're desperate to build options. Do it now while you have time. Start today. Build a second income stream. Learn a new skill. Expand your network. Save more money. Strengthen other connections. Create options for yourself. Because the person with options is the person with power. Build redundancy or accept fragility. Drop this in the comments. I always have options. So there you have it. 6 mental frameworks that will change how you think, how you move, and how you win. These aren't just ideas. These are tools, and like any tool, they're neutral. You can use them to protect yourself, build success, and stop being taken advantage of. Or you can ignore them and keep playing life on easy mode while wondering why nothing works out. I know most people watching this won't do anything with it. Though not alone, maybe drop a comment and then go back to their regular programming. But a small percentage will actually apply this. Those people will start seeing results immediately. Conversations will shift. Opportunities will appear. Power dynamics will change. The question is, which group are you in? If you got value from this video, don't just watch and leave. Hit that like button, share this with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to the channel because we're just getting started with this level of content. Most channels give you surface level motivation. We're going deep into the psychology that actually runs the world. And drop your affirmation in the comments. Tell me which framework hit you the hardest. Let me know you're serious about this path, because this isn't for everyone. This is for people who are tired of losing and ready to learn the real game. Remember, the world doesn't reward the most comfortable person. It rewards the smartest, the most strategic, the most prepared. So stop playing by rules that keep you weak and start thinking like someone who was born to win. I'll see you in the next one. Stay sharp. Drop this final affirmation in the comments. I'm awake now.